The Nikon FM2 is built like a tank. Today I'll be reviewing this awesome camera and showing you how to use it. Hey everybody, welcome to Dan Bullman Photography. If this is your first time watching, please hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date on all of the awesome photography content I am putting out. Now let's get to it. One of the big advantages of the Nikon FM2, unlike most contemporary cameras, is that it's mostly mechanical. This means no batteries and no electronic parts fizzing out or dying. And chances are if you find a Nikon FM2, it's probably going to be working like new. This camera is reliable and sturdy as hell. The FM2 can withstand and function even in extreme heat or cold. I read online that the Canadian government still uses the FM2 in the high Arctic, where temperatures could reach -40 degrees Celsius. I haven't been able to confirm this, but it makes for a good story at the very least. I can confirm of its reliability in harsh cold though, as I have shot with this camera in the winter hellscape of Boston, Massachusetts. One of the craziest things about the FM2 is its maximum shutter speed is 1/4000th of a second. That was unheard of in the early 1980s, especially for a mechanical shutter. The shutter curtain is made of titanium, though after 1989, Nikon was able to use aluminum for the shutter. In any case, this shutter is fast as hell. Shutter speed is adjusted with the dial to the right of the viewfinder. In addition to the maximum of 1/4000th of a second, you can go up to 1 second or set the dial to B for bulb mode, which allows for longer exposures. ISO is adjusted by lifting the ring on the shutter speed dial and turning it to the desired film speed. ISO ranges from 12 to 6400 ISO. There is a sync port on the front of the camera to attach external flash units with a PC sync cable. The flash sync speed is 1/200th of a second. The FM2N was released as an update to the original FM2, and it has a flash sync speed of 1/250th of a second and a redesigned hot shoe. It is possible to glean the difference between an FM2 and an FM2N camera body by looking at the serial number, which is listed on the back of the camera. So for instance, mine has an N preceding the serial number, which means that it is an FM2N camera body. The shutter button is located right next to the shutter speed dial. Simply press it to take a photo. The shutter button can be locked with the frame advance lever by moving it back until it snaps into place. This feature is useful for preventing you from accidentally wasting a frame, such as when you put your camera in your camera bag, but honestly I find this feature kind of annoying because it just breaks up my rhythm of shooting. When I shoot with other 35mm cameras, I'm used to bringing the frame advance all the way back. But with this camera, when I do that, I end up locking it into place, and then the next time I go to take a photo, I realize that the shutter button's locked. And this is something I could probably get used to if I shot with the camera a little bit more, but I find it kind of annoying. After you've taken a photo, advance to the next frame by moving the frame advance lever forward in one smooth motion. Make sure not to bring the lever fully back or it will lock the shutter, which is annoying for the reasons I just mentioned. The FM2 comes standard with the classic split focus screen. But the focus screen on mine's a little bit different because the previous owner must have replaced it. And it looks a little bit strange. It's kind of like looking through a rifle scope. There's no actual focusing aid in there to let you know if it's in focus, but it is a fairly bright screen, so it's pretty easy to tell if you've got sharp focus just by looking through it. According to the user manual, this is the Type E2 focusing screen, for what that's worth. The only battery-operated portion of the camera is the light meter, which isn't required to shoot photos. The light meter operates with the same batteries as the Nikon F3 if you watch my video on that camera. Hint hint. See the links in the description for batteries that are compatible with the FM2. To replace batteries, open the battery compartment on the bottom of the camera with a coin, insert new batteries, and close the compartment, tightening it up with a coin. Light meter information is displayed in the right side of the viewfinder when you half press the shutter. See the chart on the screen right now for what each of the different signs indicate. The FM2 is compatible with most Nikon f-mount lenses produced between 1959 and 2000. It will work flawlessly with non-AI and AI lenses alike. Modern Nikon G lenses won't work on the FM2, unfortunately. These lenses don't have an aperture ring since this is electronically controlled on modern Nikon DSLRs. The FM2 cannot control the aperture through the body, so Nikon G lenses are virtually useless on the FM2. To mount the lens, press on the black button to the right of the lens, line up the black dot on the lens aperture ring with the black dot on the lens mount, and twist the lens until the black dots line up with the Nikon logo and locks into place. To remove the lens, Press the black button to the right of the lens and twist the lens towards this button until the lens can gently be taken off. To load film, open the back by pulling the black button next to the rewind crank and lifting the rewind crank until the back pops open. Next, drop your film cassette into the chamber like this and pull the film leader across to the opposite side, notching the tip of the film leader into the spool on that side. Advance the film by moving the frame advance lever forward. You may have to press the shutter first to get it to advance if the lever is locked. Close the film door and take up any slack in the film by rewinding the film slightly. Then take blank exposures until your frame counter is at 1. Then you're ready to shoot. After you've finished your roll, rewind the film back into the canister by pressing the button on the bottom of the camera and winding the rewind crank in the direction of the arrow. You will feel a loosening of tension once the film has come off the take-up spool and back into the canister. At this point, open the camera back and remove your film. Here are some photos that I've taken recently with the Nikon FM2. Now, while I prefer shooting with my Nikon F3, the Nikon FM2 is a fantastic camera and I really enjoyed shooting with it. Now, I'm currently in the process of downsizing my camera collection, so I don't know if I'm going to hang on to this one, but nonetheless, it is a great option to consider if you're looking for a vintage 35mm camera that's going to be very durable. And also, this camera is fairly affordable as well. I found mine on eBay for just under $200, and you can find one for similar prices depending on their condition and quality and where you shop around. I've included some links in the description to some places that you can find a Nikon FM2 if you're shopping around online. Well, we'll see you soon, folks. This has been another episode of Dan Bullman Photography. Peace.